Before I start the video, guys, I want to thank you for subscribing to the channel. Currently, at the time of recording, we have 19 subscribers, which is definitely more than I thought we would have. It's great. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm glad and I'm thankful that y'all actually want to watch my content. I know some of it may be dry, some of it may be not what you're wanting. I know some of the STi content doesn't seem to do as well. It seems like so far a lot of people really like the Ducati. So thank you guys so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to continue to put out content as much as I'm able to, just with everything going on. Thank you so much.
What's going on, YouTube? Back with some more content. So I'm out of breath, just been messing with this. So I picked up a Cobb Exahust. It's a stainless steel model for really cheap. It's like half of what they go for new. There's a few little scrapes in the bottom. The car was kind of low that it came from, but I got a really good deal on it, and I'm gonna get it installed on the car and give you my impressions once I get it completed.
All right, so I'm continuing on. This is the next day. Yesterday was a little bit different. I laid out the exhaust. I used the this copper sealant stuff. It's kind of what I normally use on gaskets. The gaskets were blown out. You could see where it had been leaking. So I just put that in there, let it set for about an hour, and then snugged it up. Cobb recommends you put the exhaust together and slide it up under the car. Or, I don't know if they recommend that, but they do recommend you putting it together. So put it together, got it up under the car. It's actually pretty much already on there all the way. The thing that I have left is there is 2 bolts under here. So my phone stopped recording. So I have these 2 bolts here, which connect the downpipe to the catback. And then there's that bracket that's hanging right over there. So essentially what I've got left to do is get this connected here and hang that. Exhaust hung up. That was easy. Over here, there's one person. Jack stands only go up so high. I'm not the smallest person in the world. So, since I'm not the smallest person in the world, then I am going to have to improvise. So, what I did was the springs on those exhausts, I'll insert a picture of it into the into it. I just took a zip tie, put a zip tie around it to compress the spring. It was allowed me enough to get my arms up under there, get the bolt tight, and then snugged up. So I mean, it wasn't like it was super difficult. It was just time consuming. It takes, I have 2 jack stands. The other 2 are recalled by Harbor Freight, so I'm not going to get up under those. But basically, I've started with the front up, started with the back. Sorry, I just backed it out of my garage a little bit, took them off, and then unbolted everything, jacked up the front, loosened the downpipe bolts where it connects to the catback, and then yeah. So what's going on, y'all? So kind of an update here. So we've got the Cobb exhaust on. It's probably been 2 or 3 days. Took it out last night for the first time to actually drive it. Think it sounds really good. I'll kind of talk about some stuff here on the drive in just a few moments, but I'm going to go ahead and just give it a cold start in the car just so you can hear what it sounds like inside the cabin. So it's still pretty quiet. So here in a few minutes, I'll resume the video. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you my impressions of the exhaust. Like I said, I drove it yesterday, and the car seemed to be quieter. I had muffler deletes. I believe they were blocks. There was no branding on them. I just bought them secondhand. Got a really good deal, so I decided to keep them. This exhaust, like I said, got it from a local member of the local Subaru community. I'm not going to say exactly how much I paid for it, but I will say it was close to half of what a new Cobb exhaust would have been. So I got a really good deal on it. Super happy with it. Really like the sound of the exhaust. It's definitely it's a little more bassy, I guess would be kind of a descriptive word for it. It's not as mid-range, high sounding like raspy. It's kind of hard to describe kind of the difference, but it's definitely lower in tone than the other exhausts were, or the other exhaust that I had. Like I said, it's a catback.
I just found out that my camera will record 5 minutes, and that's all that it will record before it decides to turn itself off. So, I was talking about the RPM, where the vehicle was and cruising and all that good stuff. It's not droney, it's not annoying, sounds good. I think the exhaust sounds good for the money. Like I said, I got a really good deal on it, so I would definitely buy it again. I wouldn't hesitate to buy it again. The price is a little steep. There's obviously better options out there, I would think, for the money. Really, I mean, you're getting good quality with Cobb, but you know, you might want to buy an NVIDIA for $800, $700 versus buying this. And it's really going to depend on if you want a single exit or dual exit exhaust. I like the quad tips and the way that it looks. So for me, aesthetically, this is the one that I wanted. And I just stalled my car. Try not to be obnoxious so you can actually hear me talk, and I stalled it because I'm an idiot. Now, try to get up here and get a pull in so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Personally, I think the exhaust sounds good. It's kind of quiet compared to what I had before. It's not as droney. It's also, you can hear the intake really, really well. So I think it's going to be a great fit for the car. Now, if you get a downpipe, I haven't heard one in person, so I don't know what they sound like. So it could obviously get louder. It could sound a little bit different. It would just depend on if you have a downpipe or not. Eventually, I would like to get a downpipe, but right now, I don't have one. And to retain the intake and to do a downpipe, you would have to go with a professional tune. We do have a local pro tuner here I could use. Or you could just go downpipe only. Or you could buy the Cobb fuel kit and inlet and then run the Cobb Stage 3 tune, which is another option if that's something that you wanted to do. Personally, I would rather go the pro tune route. There's plenty of other options out there that that you can handle for pro tunes. Delicious Tuning is one of them. They have a kit where you can buy the fuel system, the flex fuel system with the injectors and the pump, and it will increase the flow, and then they'll also do a tune for you as well. And my understanding is it's a pretty decent bump, so it's kind of hard for me to say either way, because I don't have it. Delicious Tuning is pretty far away, and I don't know anybody that has it, because everybody here goes pro tune. So ultimately, guys, just let me know what you think of the video. If there's questions or anything you want to talk about, let me know, and I'll try to answer those the best I can. If there's anything you like about the video, great. If there's anything you don't like about the video, great. Just give me some constructive feedback. Don't be a jerk. And other than that, I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.